Child, did you all know that before Destiny's Child became famous, Beyoncé and LaTavia Roberson were actually a singing duo? Yes, just the two of them. LaTavia was supposed to be a big star too, right alongside Beyoncé. But something happened along the way that changed her whole life. Just like other artists whose shine faded in Beyoncé's shadow, LaTavia's time in the spotlight ended too fast. And she never really got it back. After she got kicked out of Destiny's Child, LaTavia went into a really dark place. She talked about how she struggled with depression, alcohol, and even started pushing people away. She said that during that time, she didn't even know what to pray for. The only thing that gave her comfort was drinking and being alone. She said she was in self-sabotage mode and shut herself off from the world. For nearly 20 years, people didn't hear from her, and now we know why. She said, "I was underneath my own rock." And while some people blame Beyoncé's dad, Matthew Knowles, for what happened, there are rumors that Beyoncé may have also played a role in LaTavia being let go from the group. According to what was shared, Matthew claimed that two of the original girls, LaTavia and LeToya, decided they wanted to fire him as their manager without even talking to Beyoncé and Kelly first. One day, they just got a letter. That same day, they had performed together like nothing was wrong. Matthew said it was heartbreaking for Beyoncé and Kelly, but just 3 days after they got that letter, the other girl's lawyer called and said they not only wanted a new manager, but they also wanted all the money they paid Matthew back. They didn't want to pay his 20% cut anymore. That would have meant Beyoncé and Kelly had to pay double to keep things going. So in the end, Matthew said they had two choices: either find two new girls or watch the group fall apart completely. Eventually, Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin joined, and Destiny's Child kept going. But LaTavia's life fell apart after she was let go. And now she's ready to share her side of the story in a new tell-all book called I Am LaTavia. She wants to finally speak on everything that happened, not just the music part, but the pain and struggles that followed. But hold up, baby, there's more. Word on the street is that LeToya, who was also kicked out at the same time as LaTavia, might be ready to talk too. Some fans believe she's holding back some deep secrets about what really went on behind the scenes, maybe even how much Beyoncé actually knew. Some people are asking, was Beyoncé okay with cutting out her childhood friends to shine brighter? Did she secretly agree with her dad's decision? Or maybe she didn't say anything at all and just let it happen? Or could it really have been all Matthew's doing from the jump? Let's not forget, LaTavia was an original member of Destiny's Child, right along with Beyoncé, Kelly and LeToya. She helped record their first two big albums, including The Writings on the Wall, and she even won 2 Grammys during her time in the group. So what went wrong? Things really got messy when LaTavia and LeToya started asking about the money. They wanted to know where it was going and how it was being handled. That's when everything blew up. They ended up suing Matthew Knowles. The lawsuit said Matthew tried to become their legal guardian and kept money info away from them and their parents. They also said they had no idea they were kicked out until they heard the song Say My Name on the radio, sung by new girls in the group. And when LaTavia was asked what kind of manager Matthew was, she didn't sugarcoat it. She said he didn't hold back his words and was very hard on them, even as young girls. She shared that Kelly Rowland, especially, used to cry in her room after Matthew's harsh criticism. Now y'all, if you thought it couldn't get any messier, just wait. Because it turns out that the way LaTavia and LeToya were pushed out wasn't just painful, it was also shady on a whole new level. And honey, the tea keeps getting hotter. So remember Farrah Franklin? She was the girl who joined Destiny's Child right after LaTavia, and LeToya were removed. But baby, her time in the group didn't last long either, just a few months. And when she finally spoke out, she spilled that being part of the group came with all kinds of rules. One of the biggest, no one was allowed to look better or even lighter than Beyoncé. Yes, you heard that right. According to Farrah, Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mum, made it clear that Beyoncé had to be the lightest-skinned girl in the group. The other girls, including Kelly, Michelle, and even Farrah herself, had to tan just so Beyoncé would stand out more. Farrah even said they changed her whole look, from her hair color to her makeup, just to make sure she didn't outshine Beyoncé. Her natural beauty, completely covered up. But that's not even the wildest part. Turns out Tina also didn't want to work with certain girls at all, especially if they were dark-skinned. That's what Ashley Tamar Davis revealed. Now, if you don't know who Ashley is, she used to be in Destiny's Child before the group blew up, and she's also a voice coach. She said that when Tina found out Ashley was too dark, too tall, and too big, she wanted her out. Can you believe that? Ashley's coach even remembered the exact words Tina used. She said, "Ashley is talented, but she is too big, too dark and ugly." Y'all, that's cold. And it's not just about looks either. There's talk that Matthew and Tina were willing to sabotage other artists just to make sure Beyoncé stayed on top. Remember the girl group Block? They had 2 Billboard hits and a platinum album, and guess who managed them? Matthew Knowles. But instead of helping them grow, their second album got shelved at the very last minute, and no one ever gave a real reason why. A lot of people believe that Matthew did it on purpose because Block was becoming too much competition for Destiny's Child. This makes folks wonder, were they only pushing LaTavia and LeToya out because they asked questions, or was it also about keeping Beyoncé's spotlight untouched? Because, baby, when you add up all the stories, the forced tanning, the looks being changed, the careers being blocked, it's starting to look like there was a full-on strategy to make Beyoncé the star, no matter who got hurt. But wait, there's more. It wasn't just Block. Even when Destiny's Child started thinking about solo careers, Matthew was already planning for Beyoncé to go big. Some people say that's the real reason the group broke up later, not because of creative differences, but because Matthew wanted Beyoncé to shine alone. And everybody else, just collateral damage. But let's get back to Farrah for a second, because when she left the group, the official story from Matthew and Beyoncé was that she missed too many shows and events. Beyoncé even said herself it wasn't management's decision, it was the group's decision. But Farrah had a whole different story. She said she didn't show up because she had already quit. She said she left the group because of how badly she was being treated. And according to her, Beyoncé and her parents did to her what they did to every other member they saw as a threat. Just when you thought this story couldn't get deeper, buckle up, because the tea is boiling over. We already talked about what happened with LaTavia, LeToya, Farrah, Ashley, and even the group Block. But baby, that was just the beginning. Because apparently, Beyoncé's rise to the top may have left a trail of broken careers behind her, and the receipts. Phew. Let's start with Des'ree. She was the original singer behind the beautiful ballad Kissing You. Now, Beyoncé decided to cover that same song for her B-Day album, but renamed it Still in Love, Kissing You, and gave herself a writing credit. The problem? She didn't even secure the deal to use the song. Not only did she make a video for it, but she pushed the song anyway. Des'ree sued Beyoncé for $150,000 and demanded the song be pulled from all platforms. And after that mess, Des'ree's career practically vanished. Folks are saying that crossing Beyoncé might have been the final nail in her industry coffin. But wait, we've got Rihanna next. Yup, even Riri's name comes up in these whispers. When Rihanna started climbing the charts and gaining serious attention, working with Jay-Z and showing star power, people say Beyoncé wasn't happy about it. The rumor is that Beyoncé was so worried about Rihanna becoming a bigger star, she allegedly convinced Jay-Z to sabotage Rihanna's album ANTI. And get this, ANTI leaked on Tidal, which just so happens to be owned by Jay-Z and Beyoncé. A lot of people felt like it wasn't just a coincidence, especially since the leak seemed to benefit Beyoncé's Formation-era rollout. And here's where it gets real messy. In the early days, Beyoncé didn't even see Rihanna as a threat. Instead, she supposedly thought Tiara Marie was the one to watch out for. There's even a story about L.A. Reid saying he was more focused on Tiara Marie until Beyoncé gave him a look and told him, "That Rihanna girl, she's a beast." And just like that, the tables turned. Rihanna was pushed forward and Tiara faded out of the picture that quick. But let's not stop there, because there's more. Blue Cantrell. Remember her? She had hits like Hit 'Em Up Style and was on track to have a strong solo career. But guess what? Her name also ends up on the list of stars people believe got sidelined once Beyoncé stepped into the spotlight. Some even believed Blue had a thing with Jay-Z at one point, though she denied it. Still, she admitted to having a huge crush on him and said she wouldn't have turned him down if the moment was right. Some fans believe this crush might have been enough to put her in Beyoncé's line of fire. Stay glued and don't miss what comes next. Like, share, and subscribe for more juicy celebrity news.